Hey y'all, this is Amie Crowsong. I know I haven't been on YouTube in a while. I want to start doing more, but also because of the way my health has been, I need to not do too much more. Um, Turns out writing isn't what it used to be for me, which I've known that for some years now, but it actually benefits me more at this point to not sit around writing books for hours, but rather to get up and do things like cleaning or working outside, just being outside, playing with my pets outside, or even the pets in my room, um, or whatever. So I'm gonna be slower to get my works done, which is kind of sad. But I just want to come in with some updates for like future story ideas and some things that are kind of shifting right now in terms of what themes are going to be coming out. Um, I don't remember if I've ever shown you guys this or not. I don't think I have. By the way, this base up here, um, what's that? Top left. That's from DeviantArt. That's not my own original thing. I will do my best to remember to link to the original on DA. Um, yeah. So this is a family tree, Shadowstalker, and other characters throughout the series that is out so far will be found in it. However, this is not anywhere near all of the cats in the books. Um, so, uh, Farrell's the Epics collection is still due out very soon, sooner than ever now, actually. That's the base. I didn't use this part here, I just used these three. Um, We're going to come. Whoops, that's my bad. Didn't need you guys to see OBS show up. But hopefully that's still working. So, also, I don't have my mouse right now because I'm sitting outside because the dogs wanted to sit outside, and also it is very nice out. So, after the. Oh, there's a breeze. I hope that's not going to be a problem. So, Shadowstalker, the main man here. Um, After we have the Epics collection come out, before I switch to making each part of the Epics collection its own novel or a couple novels, I'm working on having Tiny Fang's piece come out. And yes, it's like mentioned in like one, maybe not even a full stanza, I think, in The Shadow and Ash, which is the very first portion of the Epics collection. And it has to do, it's just so briefly mentioned, I think, in the original release. I actually said it was her cousin, but canonically before that, and I changed it back so it would be with the old canon as I had it before. She has an abusive partner and her uncle. Um, and this whole like it goes along with the whole incest is bad plot, which is just gonna be a theme of the books, I guess. And so if we come down here, you see she has two sets of children. We have this one with Tiger Purr, which we know about from the books. We also see her Uncle Spiderface, which is her mother's brother. Her mother being leading Lady Monarch Echo. So Spiderface and Tiny Fang have these five in one litter. It's the big litter. And the main one to think about or consider is Tooth. I've done a little bit about Tooth already in videos. Um, the others are all boys, by the way. I don't know why. Tiny Fang just puts out boys mostly, which that's not really on her genetically speaking, but whatever, it's fine. Like she only ever had two daughters, and it's Tooth and Feather Mask. But oh man, Tooth. Ugh. So I'm working on that one right now. I still haven't decided whether I'm gonna call it, what was it, like Little Sins. I think I might go Little Sins, but I think I'm also saying it's Sins and Secrets or Tooth and Fang or Fang and Tooth. I don't know yet. So that's next in progress. We also, come on, over here, sorry. So this whole thing is full of spoilers, by the way. In the original Shadow and Ash, in the second part, which focuses on Ash, Shadowstalker's, I can't even say his youngest because there are so many other Shadowstalker offspring. But anyway, Dawnface and Lightning Claw go to, I think it's called the Eternal Pit. I've used that in other books, so I don't remember which term, if I use that term or not in Ferals. I'll have to double check. While they're there, they have a daughter named Ember. And the whole plot for her little story is, I'll just read it. Ember is born in the eternal pit, to Lightning Claw and Dawnface. When her parents are done doing their time, quote unquote, they are taken by bright lights, being born into new selves. Ember is not taken, but finds a cave, symbolism, lol, and after wandering through it, enters the world as a kitten who regains memories as she gets older and uses them, question mark, because I don't know. So that's an idea. I mentioned the whole cave thing, like symbolism, because that's just a thing. If you take, I don't know, at least in my history classes, we were taught that going through a cave and coming out on another end is symbolism for like rebirth, you know? And I think that makes a lot of sense. I love caves anyway, as you may or may not know. I don't even know. And then if we come over here, let's see. This is another story idea. So after the colony is broken at the end of Shadow and Ash, Lilyclaw and Snowy Path, that's these sisters over here, and Bearheart and Lynxfang, these brothers here, they have to figure out what to do next. So this is just a little bit of like the end of Shadow and Ash before the time skip, or a placement skip even before the next stories. This also goes along with over here, I guess a little bit. Well, this would actually be a little bit after, but same kind of gist. Which this litter here, they're like the last litter born to the stragglers of the colony in Shellan Thorn. So we have the end of the last stragglers of the colony at the lake. POV is the Tabby Torty, because I'm a slut for calicos, but man, Tabby Torties. Yeah, but if we come up here too, I did design a significant amount of Shadowstalkers, Mothers, the Stormy Willows cattery. I actually went really in depth in a different file. I'm not going to pull it up though. So we have Stormy Willows. This is this idea for a whole other story. Stormy Willows returns to her cattery after Shadowstalker and has a final litter. Shadowstalker's baby half-sister, because I don't know, is a chimera. And she technically has two souls, because while one cat physically, she's made of two embryos. So I'm going to kind of be playing around with the idea of like, at what point can like two embryos like that be different beings? So this idea of like, well, a chimera is it looks like one being, but genetically there's another one in there. So how much of the other being is there? And it's gonna go further with that too. Anyway, oops, my bad. How'd that happen? Anyway, she is not the first, but third in the program. I mentioned that because there is this also goes with no inbreeding is the whole inbreeding is bad theme for cats, because the breeder turns out not to be a great one, and she is really definitely inbreeding her Siberian cats. And in the last two generations we see there's a total of 3, including this sister character, Chimera cats. Was it 1 or 2 in the one generation, and the next generation, which is the baby sister, is her? I don't know, it's something like that. And also the oldest of the 3, which is her paternal aunt, is intersex. That's another thing. That's just gonna be a thing. It's in there too. The older purebreds don't understand their breeder is faulty and blame the younger, imperfect, quote-unquote, cats. Stormy Willows is passive and gazes out the window often. Baby sister, yeah, she still doesn't have a name, even though she kind of has, like, a facial design at this point. Decides to take others, including Cookie's baby brother, Lemon. Yes, he gets to live after all. And begin her own colonies with their own premise from what she understands of Ferals and her half-brother's life. I'm thinking instead of colonies, though, she's going to live more like the strays in the city in the beginning of Shadow and Ash, which is similar to what we have. Like, it's going to be relatively close to the lake area where the cats live canonically, the colonies. However, it's not going to be quite there, so it's actually still in my home area, actually. And they're going to live like the stray cats that I've known. However, I'm adding the twist. This is really going to place where I am, but you know, you already know the lake and everything in the city. If you've heard, you probably haven't. We don't even talk about it anymore. The Westlake landfill. I'm very close to that, and while in real life I haven't seen any effects on the cats around here, and we've had strays always, like it's just how it is. I am going to pull that into the story, where not only just chimeras, but we're going to have like conjoined twins come in, and I think that will be something to work with too. Like that'll be interesting. Um, this also says she and Lemon. I haven't decided which of Lemon's designs I'm going to use. He has two designs. One is a torty point Tom, and the other is just not realistic. So I guess it could be Chimera, but I'm leaning. I might do just the torty point Tom. This says infertile and dies young because I'm thinking they have one kitten together. Oh yeah, when they work together, maybe have one kitten, which is a sign of hope. We don't know yet, and the other colony maybe a mix. So the original idea for the two colonies, which at least two colonies, is they just be different purebred mixes. So we have the one that's like Siberian ragdoll mixes, and another maybe short hair one. I don't know. Although they would be interesting when the short hair cats would begin producing long hair kittens, because long hair is recessive, and a lot of I guess not a lot, but some short usually short hair purebreds do have long hair alternatives. For example, Abyssinians and Somali cats. Abyssinian is just the short hair version. Somali is the long hair version, which is why Shadowstalker and Sunset Waves daughter Silverbells is written as looking just like a blue Somali. The blue coming from her father, and the long furs coming from her father, but this is a base look, like the way she's structured, coming from Sunset Wave. So she's basically a long hair Abyssinian in the color blue, which makes her look like a blue Somali. Do I have anything else on here to talk about? I think I do, but I just don't know where. Oh, hold on. I think I do. Also, Stella and F5 probably do have kittens. I just haven't gotten there yet. But, we'll figure it out at some point, I guess. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen this before. I just made up new names for Cookie and Slate's litter. They are now Joy, which is a Tom, Hope and Love, which are she cats, and Faith, which is a Tom. That's their names. Originally, they were just like from fan fiction, Power 3, Warriors, whatever. So they were literally just, I just referred to them as Holly, Laia, and Jay, and I think Turtle or something. Because Turtle was like an OC, but whatever, it's fine. Now they have their own names. Looky there. How cool. Anyway, so we're gonna come down here now to where we leave off in, shoot, what's it called? The last of the Epics collection, Family and Future. At the end of that, we hear about Tiger Blaze and Songrose. So we have a potential little lesbian piece about Tiger Blaze as leading lady with her mate Songrose. I think that'd be adorable. So, it just may or may not happen. We're going to find out. All right. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. But I want to add that it is kind of relevant, though, because this is also tied to Warriors in a way, because I don't get on Tumblr much anymore, but I was on Tumblr on my personal, I only have a personal account really, the other day, and I saw a post about how Leafpool is actually almost certainly a lesbian, because her relationships with other she-cats were so much more influential and meaningful to her than her one-off thing with Crowfeather that didn't really mean much or wasn't much to her, and it wasn't even a good relationship really, and that really hit me. And I began looking up things about bisexual women or lesbians who think they're bisexual, and I was very called out on almost all of them. I really fit the bill, and I'm kind of wondering if that's me now. So, similar to that, though, I want to go talk about the alternate now, which that one, the condensed edition, more or less is ready-ish, I guess. Before it just needs the cover art and a few like I don't know, a few final look-see things. I don't know. And then it will be out before I get to writing the art for it. Now the sequel, which I think so far is going to be called the Singularity. Um, uh, where are they going to go with this? Let me just pull this up. And yes, I know there's a Scourge Sasha mention. I don't know how to explain it right now. Just ignore it, okay? It made sense in my head. Anyway, so these are just the very few sparse notes for the sequel to the alternate, which is the Singularity, I'm thinking I'm going to call it. So we have some characters who are linked to characters in the original, and yes, there's a, like, so also I want to say in the alternate, there aren't different races of human, but there are different, like, varieties, I guess. Like, there is notice of different skin colors, most of them being a more olive tone, or like a pale, I don't know, like a pale brownish olive tone usually, or pale olive even. Um, and then the two I'm gonna quote unquote extremes, I guess, would be like very pale or very dark. And at the end of the alternate, um, whether it be the arc of novels that will come out or just the condensed edition when you get to part 5 with Fiammetta, um, you'll see there is notice that like those who are on the extremes, if you want to call them that, there are kind of things that go with that, especially considering the extremes aren't as common as the in between, which makes sense in my head anyway. But there are a bit more of the pale ones and the darker ones, which I mean, I don't totally know the genetics of skin color. Um but I don't know. Like that made sense in my head. Like if the darker is dominant and then the lighter is recessive, but also they're the kind like when they go together, there's like a whole spectrum between them. Because I'm pretty sure that was a genetics thing, but I haven't had a biology class since ninth grade, so bear with me. Then that means there would be more of the pale than the dark, because once the dark colors mingle with the pale colors, their tones rather, you have the mediums, but also because the pale is more of a recessive, if you get two of those paired up, you could just randomly have a paler offspring, I think. I'm not 100% certain that's how that works. It's not a big point, I don't think, because I'm almost as pale as they come. I have a little bit of pink in my skin. It's not much though. um, so there is a point where so Solomon and Sage we meet under different names. Same with Cecilia in the very first part of the alternate, even the condensed edition. They're in the part 1. Solomon and Sage both have they're both olive skin tone. I don't remember. Oh, Argon, please. Sorry, that was one of my dogs. I don't remember if they're darker or lighter or just olive skin tone. I don't remember. And then Cecilia has paler skin. Now, I am going to say, I guess this is spoilers, but right now, what I'm thinking is Cecilia is Lee, and Lee is actually non-binary. But because Lee ends up being raised with a different parentage after being stolen as a baby with Solomon and Sage, Lee, they are raised as Cecilia and insisted that they are female. You know, she, her, all that. And so there's a lot of dysphoria going on. And it talks about like being non-binary, genderqueer, transgender, whatnot. When you're in a society, culture, family that does not allow it. Also, there are these younger siblings, the biological ones. They're all preferred by their father. Their father, I'm just gonna say it. Their father is based on Scourge, and Warriors, their mother based on Sasha. I know that sounds crazy. I promise there's this whole idea behind it. It's fine. It's just one of these AU things that got twisted in my head to my own things. Don't worry about it. So Solomon and Sage often complain, like, why do you adopt us just to love us less? There is a reason for that. It's actually right now in the prologue, I think, of that document, but that's probably going to change because the prologue gives too much than what I'm currently comfortable with. We also have two new characters named Kobe and Corey. They are the sons of Will and Glow, who are also characters in the original book after Lee's loss. Lee being the one who was stolen. And if once you read, this is spoilers, I guess, the original, the alternate series, even just the first part, Lee and Will have a very special bond. And then we also have the youngest of the family added in this one called Fiona, who is the youngest. This is sister, but Fiona is actually a trans man. And even as a teenager, he's already transitioning. And it's mentioned, like, it's just like a one off comment, I think, and so far, that he's already more manly than one of the twins or both the twins or something, Kobe and Corey. And he is going to get into like one of the old, like, out of favor, most social cultural norms, no longer believe in these like monastery sisters, brothers, whatever they're supposed to be, that you meet in the fifth part of the alternate. But he gets involved in them, but they do have this issue like, well, we've never had someone who is essentially, they don't say it this way, but essentially cisgender, or no, they are all cisgender. They've never had someone who wasn't cisgender be part of their little religion thing. So that's going to be a whole conflict. And it's also going to be a thing where, like, so Fiona and Lee are both named after Will's mother, Fiona Lee. And I think, and yes, Fiona keeps his name Fiona despite transitioning because it is after his grandmother and whatnot. The thing is, though, there's gonna be this whole thing of like, was he just under too much pressure being the baby girl that Will had taken away from him, that he was so connected to after naming after his mother and everything? That Fiona wasn't actually transgender himself, but he transitioned to get away from the pressure of being a daughter and a sister and a little girl and all of that. So that's going to be handled too. And I want to bring that up because it's not being. So I don't know how to explain it. So I went through a period, a very long period actually, where I first thought I was transgender, female to male. Then I'm like, well, maybe I'm just gender fluid. And then I went back female to male. Then I was like, well, maybe non-binary. And I settled on gender queer. I used to have tons of dysphoria, all this stuff. For me, it turned out there's actually just a lot going on in different aspects. And when it all came together, it influenced me to thinking, and really feeling like that I was, gender queer and whatnot. And I still kind of feel that way now. My psychologist, we were already talking for my mental health and everything. I've been seeing it since 2013. And he never said one way or another. He's like, whichever way you ultimately feel you need to be, that's fine. That's great. We'll embrace it. But right now, we're not going to rush or put labels on things. We're just going to like make you or help you cope with how you're feeling in the ways that stress you out and negatively affect you. So he actually helped me cope with a lot of my dysphoria. And from there, at this point, I'm actually pretty relatively comfortable claiming like womanhood or femininity or being a tomboy or whatever. I don't know. I'm still figuring myself out. So I'm using she, her pronouns again, primarily at least. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. And like, I still want to eventually have top surgery because, man, that is the breath I don't know that I can ever get used to. But anyway, but Fiona kind of ends up going through a process of like, how do I live after transitioning like this. Like, I know I didn't even really do I hardly transitioned at all. It's just a little bit of a social transition. But even in transitioning back, I've met some resistance where people would rather me be um who I was being, which isn't necessarily not me, it's just not who I am now, I think. Which was, he, him, I think, and the name I was using was Bren, and looking more like a guy most of the time. Um, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's not who I am at this point. That was more, I'm not even sure what that was for me at the time. But anyway, so that addresses that too. Uh, so yes. And like I said, it's not because transphobia or anything. Like I said, there are people who are transgender out there. It's a thing. Um, you do what you need to do to save yourself ultimately. Definitely. And I'm not saying they shouldn't get help or anything. I just think, like in my case, and I know some other people's cases too, things got pushed along in a way that it was actually harmful kind of in the long run, at least to some of us. So it's just something I want to throw out there as like food for thought, if that makes sense. So, like, I don't think transitioning is for everyone necessarily, I guess is the point I'm trying to get at. I don't know. Oh, I just noticed this last little bit down here. Okay, okay. So yeah, we have that going on too. Um, kind of wish I hadn't already closed out of the um my other. Oh wait, I didn't actually. Hold on, let me come back here. Let me exit out of this real quick. So also though, with where was it? Sorry, this was not planned at all. I just decided to get on. I had an itch to do this. So we're gonna come back up here. All right. In regards to Shadowstalker's younger half sister, his baby sister. Um, So with the group she begins, they're not going to be exactly like the colonies because she doesn't know exactly about the colonies. They're just it's kind of her winging it, and at some point, I don't know if it'll be like directly there or like generations down the line, about the same time Family and Future happens. I'm not sure yet. We're going to bring in two other stories that I've written, one being original, the other being fan fiction. Um like, as though it's part fan fiction, part original, unless you kind of like fan fiction of my own original work. I don't know. So I don't know if you guys are aware of a piece I wrote before called Ouija. And then I tried changing it to like anthropomorphized characters. But I think ultimately the feral cats are gonna work best. And I don't know that I'll ever publish Ouija itself. However, there's a storyline from this basically fan fiction I was writing on one of my DeviantArt accounts back when that was my current one. And it was about these warrior characters. These kids born in the warrior cats clan. I think it was the actual Thunder, Shadow, Wind, River. Except in the future or whatever. I don't know. And a character who was originally born in the culture and society of Ouija. His name's Snow Lily. Um, he came to the clans as a young cat. He joined Shadow Clan. Um, and Snow Lily becomes his elder, who tells all the kids and apprentices, like mainly the apprentices and young warriors, when he's at the gathering, which is how we first meet him in this fan fiction with Sunpaw and Moonpaw. He tells them about Goddess and how priestesses who rebelled brought Goddess, like they destroyed Goddess or whatever, and she doesn't exist. But Sunpaw, who is supposed to be like Goddess reincarnated, but she doesn't know it yet, she's like, what? And she like obsesses with it. But at first, there's this whole issue where like she's like, no, I'm supposed to be a clan leader. But Moonpaw also thought she was supposed to end up being a clan leader for some reason. It was, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on there. I actually do kind of like the story though. Um, anyway, and so there was this conflict, and it gets to the point where Sunpaw ended up leaving the clans to become like a kitty pet, but she found other kitty pets and strays who knew about the whole goddess situation. And the idea was that eventually she would know she was goddess and she would reinstate goddess's former glory over all the cats of the world. So it's going off the gist of that, except putting in the feral setting instead of warriors. That one's probably the farthest one out so far. Yeah. What is this? Space Force. Just ignore my titles for things. It's fine. We have Millie. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Gosh darn it. What is going on here? Why is my cursor being lame? I don't know why I just moved like that. I don't like this though. Gosh darn it. Well, I'll have to figure that out later. We're going to go back to writerly things. Millies Memoir. So Millie's Memoir is at a point where it is extremely difficult for me to write a lot at one time because in her story, she has reached the stage where where basically she is going through, I mean, her mental illness. I don't remember if I've told you guys before or not about Millie's Memoir. It basically is going to be what The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath was to me, except I want it to have a happier ending. Spoiler alert, I guess, for both the story, the characters, and the author. Because when I read The Bell Jar and I finished it, and then after that, I had learned Sylvia Plath had committed suicide at relatively young age. I mean, at the time, I was like, yep, that's gonna be me. That's me. Yep. I have the same fate. And, granted, at the time, I didn't think I'd live past 20. I'm 26 now. It's been a journey, and I want Millie to have the same sort of journey, I think. But that means she has to go through the bad times, like I did. And the bad times are really just getting really bad in her story. When I go to write them, it takes a toll on me because it's like an alternate form of PTSD. When I was going through these issues in high school, which that's where she is right now. She is weird. Like there was this whole thing going on in my head where like she was like an alternate version of myself, and she went through her own things that were similar but like not exactly the same. So going through her story like that and putting it back here for this part, which is like the main portion of the book, basically connects me back to that terrible time in my past. It's very difficult. It's not fun as it should be, and I have trouble just reading over it. So that's why Millie's Memoir is probably going to take a while to finish and get out. I'm still hoping ultimately it will be ready to go by one of my birthdays, whenever that birthday is. I still don't know. We will see, but progress is very slow for Millie's Memoir right now, which is unfortunate, but it's gonna have to be that way. Do I have any other book things to mention here? Oh yeah, here's Ouija. What do I have in here? Here's the original apparently, but this is a thing I want to work on at some point, I guess. Multiverse Game Night is actually a really interesting one. This is original New World Griffin. I don't know if I will go into that one or not still. It's one of my older ones, but let's look at Multiverse Game Night, because did I not click it properly? Oh, here it is, open with LibreOffice. This is actually a lot longer than I thought it would be, but I still have charge on my laptop, so you know what? Oh, geez. I'm just gonna share all of this because one, I don't have that many subscribers, so I don't think anyone will really remember if I ever finish writing this. Also, this is so early on in production that like it's very possible the end result will be very, very different. I can almost guarantee it's gonna be way different. Anyway, so the premise outline, we have the main character, Nikki Naomi. He wakes up in a random forest, jungle type place. Sorry. He's only wearing his underwear, which shows off his tattoos. All the characters start just in their underwear, because I don't know. I guess I just wanted to show off his tattoos. I don't know. He has similar tattoos to the ones I either have or have planned for myself, but not quite the same because, I don't know. So he has like warrior with a semicolon on his right arm, which is, you know, it's supposed to be like a suicide awareness type thing. A cat and crescent moon on his left leg, bundle of forget-me-nots on his chest. And the forget-me-nots on his chest is supposed to be over his top surgery scars because he is female to male. So on this planet, there's this voiceover. It's like supposed to be like a game show type thing. Says intro to Nikki, born Michelle Naomi Bird, a little girl, and grows into, oh, I guess he's genderqueer instead of female to male. I'm not sure. Guy. He is the representative for his planet. This is American with European ancestry. So I guess he's based off me more or less, or where I was at the time. And at first, so it's like a game show. So like first, there's like single player like games. Wait, what is Evil Jeopardy? So apparently we have rounds of Evil Jeopardy, where several people are eliminated for their wrong guesses. But some people remain quiet, and I guess they just don't answer and they live. And at some point, they must find a partner. Oh my god, I love Vixen. And then we get our lead, not a lead, our I don't know, I can't think of the proper term right now. So his name is Vixen Varian von Vanelli. What the heck are the squirrels doing? I don't even know. It's fine. So he's also from an Earth, which is important. Ignore the whole like lineage claim because I don't know that I'm gonna stick with that out of like racial reasons, obviously. So we have very different games as well as more rounds of Evil Jeopardy. Oh my gosh, why is there a bath scene with sexual tension? And there's sweet scenes for budding romance? Okay. Oh, I think I know why actually. A battle scene. Wait, what is this? Hold on. There's a battle scene with thick plastic weapons, stick-like, and Nikki gets away from Vixx and nearly falls into Loserville. Is that supposed to be like the, oh gosh, what's it called? That CD, which has to do with that musical that I'm pretty sure is only in like the UK or whatever. Oh, I wish I could see that live, but I don't think I ever will be able to. With James, what's his name? James Bourne, I think. James Elliott Bourne, I think, or Son of Dork, or Future Boy. I still listen to him. Anyway, Vixx saves Nikki and cries, yells at him about being safer. So those who lost their partners must now find a group. This is where we meet Narubi. She's interesting looking, I guess. I don't know. She's supposed to be very pretty. Is the point, I guess. I don't know. She joins them awkwardly, okay? So at first, she's a third wheel, and then Vixx gets jealous when Nikki comes on to Narubi. Okay. Was this supposed to be like a poly thing, too? I don't know. Wait, Narubi has a magic ability? Why? Oh, it's normal for her universe. This is an interesting point, too. She, too, is a human. Later they have a quote-unquote minigame where two in the party must make a past life connection. Vixx doesn't believe in it, but Narubi and Nikki can't connect. I don't remember anything about this. Nikki forces or helps Vixx make the connection, and they end up in the world of Farrell's Book 4 as Moon Lily, Fluffy Calico, and Kablaspo, Comet Blaze Spot, which is based on a cat. That's for me anyway. This is fascinating. I did not remember this point here. They have to find each other. They do and are unsure until they fall in love, and then I guess they realize who they are and that they're meant to be together. Oh, that's interesting. But anyway, oh shoot. The point of this story, spoiler alerts for what will potentially be the ending of this book, if it ever gets finished, is the idea that so there were all these multiverses of just different varieties of humans competing against each other, but they all seemed so different that they did not realize they were all humans, just from different universes where humanity ended up a little bit different from it. Let me pull up one of my commissioned images. Ah, that's not what I wanted. One of my commissioned images of, wait, no, I don't think that's the one I want. Why does this... Oh, I know why that keeps moving. Never mind. Wait, is it this one? I have two featuring Vixx. Ah, so this is like Nikki Naomi, and this is Vixx. Yes, Vixx has a tail. He has these cute little ears. He's cute. I love him. But Nikki's also cute. I love him too. Anyway, so Yeah. Where's my other one of Vixx? I don't think it's Vixx old. What's old cats revamped? Guys, I really need to go through this at some point. I just like. Is it the Vixx old? Is this the other commission? Or is this the drawing I did? Oh, this is. Huh. Why is that called old? Is it that old? But look at Vixx. He's so adorable. I love him. Anyway, so we have that going on. I still have this Anthro Lion series. As well as in the Anthro Lion series, hold on, let me open it real quick. I have two Lion series going on, one of them being Anthro, the other one being not. So we have Ada and Dalisto, I'm not sure. Ada being a transgender young adult lion, he is the oldest royal child. Dalisto is the young teenager lioness. She's the youngest royal child. So Ada isn't accepted as transgender. He wants to become king. And this whole thing, it says with his cousin, but like the king and queen aren't married. They're supposed to be either siblings or closely related, with the queen being the absolute like monarch. So it's matriarchal society, and the king, he just leads beside her, but it's her offspring that really matter more. So Ada wants to lead with Adana at his side. However, Amare, which I think that's Ada's maybe brother, and your brother is to inherit the throne instead. We have Subira, mother of Dalisto, was cursed to be a demon lioness something or other when something. Yeah. Okay. Dalisto has special abilities because her mother was cursed while pregnant with her. So up here it says Dalisto is the youngest royal child. I'm pretty sure I don't know if it's noted in here. Pretty sure I adjusted that so that Dalisto doesn't know that she is royalty or like connected to royalty, because I'm pretty sure she comes down the line from the king, who is brother to the queen. And as I just said, his role is more as an uncle and brother, and to be a guide who aids or whatever, instead of like an actual king type figure. Let's see. And then we have Dalisto and Dakarai, which I believe that's her brother, are bastard children, and they live with their mother. Yeah. So the setup. Can I see the setup? Setup, we have families consist of mothers, their brothers, and the mother's children. A lion only keeps his child if the mother dies in birth. Adana and Ikan are examples of this. So the royal family is a queen, son, and daughter. They go on to be king and queen. As a result, queens have more power than kings. Often, kings' children have no idea they are born of the king. And I don't know that it really has any value to be born of the king anyway. So yeah. And then breeding starts as young as 13, the more common. I'm pretty sure they don't live like human lifespans, though. It's like the, oh gosh, what was that? Two Kinds, I think, is that comic? I haven't looked at it in a while. With, I can't remember the human's name in there with the blue hair, and, Flora the tiger. Last I saw, they were pregnant, or they just found out they were having a baby, and everyone's like, how? And I don't even know that baby was ever born or not. So we have families. We have Cayman and Subira, our parent Ekan, Dalisto, and Dakarai. Aqua, parents Malka and Milani. Deka, Adiza, and Equa, parent Ao and I don't know. Is that Dahlia or Dahlia? I'm not sure. I might have to change the names just so I know how to pronounce them. I mean, this is supposed to be fantasy anyway, so it's not like they need these specific names. Maha and Imani, parent Shaka and Bahati. So I think these are supposed to be like Lion King OC characters at first. And that's why their names are like based on just generic African names I found. Which that's yeah. And then we have Kari and Abella, who parent Ada, Adana, Amare, and Zola. Zola. I almost said like Zoloft, which is a medication I think I was on a long time ago. That really messed me up. Do I still have their family tree? I had a picture at some point of their family tree, but I don't see it here. So, yeah. And then, hold on, let me... Where... I know this looks beautiful. I am so... Whatever it's called. Where is my lions? Here it is. If you go to my DeviantArt account, which, Brenamie23, BRENNAMIE23, you will see this posted. However, this is not the finished one. This is supposed to be like a family portrait of the other lions and the other lion story I have going on. Yeah. So how do I... Let me pull up. They also have like a family tree based on the notes edition. What does that mean? Based on things I have I don't know, decided or whatever. I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm sorry. I got so distracted by the notes. Okay, so here we go. So yes, this is, oh, here we go. The base, free base on DeviantArt. I will try to include the link for that as well. So here we have this character, Hamtrig or Homtrig, I don't know. He forces the kingship from the gentle Blywee Jr., who is this one right here, this dark one here. Junior's queens, who are Gomari and Kima, are angered, but he wants to raise the cubs peacefully. Together they have 5 cubs, 1 daughter, and 4 sons. Both families have powers. So this is based on a series of dreams I had when I was a kid. I don't know how to... I'm not even going to bother explaining it now, but royal families had special powers that were really cool, and there's like this whole setup type thing. Anyway, and then, Asa might end up with a name change like Asha, which would be AZXA, I'm thinking, and Lenny may also get a name change. I'm not sure yet. Lenny is basically like self-insert. They meet and fall in love. Asha, Lenny, whose name, I don't even know what it's going to be yet. But as you can see, like, looking at these, Jake. Why do we just have a random Jake there? Okay. I don't... Jake. All right. We have this character here, Emmet, who is the brother of Blywee Jr. Emmet is firstborn, and he dies as a cub to Blywee the First, or Senior, and Jimar, Blywee Senior's mate. Emmet delivers promise of true deity to be born. Shawnee, Loki, and Zarina are just my friends' OCs who may or may not make an appearance. We don't know yet. They live in mortal bodies as they are super old, long forgotten gods. So they just kind of mind their own business, it seems like. And then over here, we have Dente and Zani. Just fun fact, both are named for foreign words for tooth. Zani being the German Zahn or Zana, I don't remember exactly what it is. And Dente being French dent, les dents, or don't, les don't. I don't know. I haven't had foreign language classes or practice in a long time. I don't even have Duolingo on my phone anymore or anything. So let's see. Riel and Moki share a pride, each mating to the other sisters. So here we see Sarah and Riel are siblings. With Riel mating to Nelly to Nibura, and Sarah mates to Moki. Together they have Mika, Skara, Aisha, Nibura. Wait, no, I'm sorry, not Nibura. I just jumped to her for some reason. And Moki breeds to Len, who I will go to in a second. And they have, who do they have? I think they just have Kielo. Now, if we look here, Nibura and Kielo, they have fancy looking cubs, right? 2 sons, 2 daughters over here. Kielo and Nibura cubs cause a fissure in the pride, as they have same god as their father, but Nibura is pure mortal and Kielo is not, because Len is also not pure mortal. We'll get to that in a second. We have more cubs over here between Riel and the sisters of Moki, who are obviously hokey and pokey, because why wouldn't they be? Now we're gonna come up over here, right? There's this character here, Lynn. We don't know what gender Lynn is. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. But Lynn is the parent of Nellie and Harriet. We also have Len with an E instead of an I over here. And then we have Ertzi, Bruno, and Zuna up here. Zuna and Bruno being parents to Lynn, and Bruno and Ertzi being parents to Rasha and Len with an E. So Ertzi is a love goddess. She grants Bruno, who is female to male, a mane as long as he bears her 1 litter, Rasha and Len. So Bruno is also the one who bears Lynn with an I. So yes, so Rasha and Len with an E are both demigods. So that means that Kielo is also a demigod, and so are Miko and Okim. Oh, beautiful names. Which they are kind of more demigod than Kielo because their father is pure god, a pure deity. But Arubi and Bina's father is the same deity, or I don't know yet. But Nibura is pure mortal, not deity at all. So like there's this whole thing going on where it's like, what is the true religion? Blah, 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 blah. So we have the old gods, we have new gods, we have other things that'll possibly come into play. It's just going to be this whole thing. Originally, the main characters were going to be Asha and Linny, who will hopefully get it. Wiffle? Why is Linny's brother named Wiffle? Anyway, but then I designed 3 children for them, and so I'm thinking Danley, I don't know. He might be our POV here. I don't really know yet. This one still has a while to go. So, yeah. I have done... Oh, look at Dente and Zani. How cute. You'll see a lot of stuff. I do breedables with these lands, too, to build up just, the what's it called? So, like, if you look here, this is an image of Blawy Jr. and, his first 2 litters, his 3 older cubs. Is this PNG? Yeah. Here is supposed to be a thing. And these can be found on my DeviantArt again, too. My most recent one, which is Brenemy23. So we have the king's family and exile. It's supposed to be like a little teaser. Oh, excuse me. Wow. Teaser image. So here we have, was this Gomery? I don't even remember. And their 2 cubs. Here we have Kima, I think is her name, and her son. Argon, do you mind? Sorry. Do I have anything else drawn for this? I don't even know. Other than like the family portrait thing. And yeah, you'll see a lot of the designs for the younger ones are actually from breedings, and I just fit them into the family tree where it looks like they belong. So, yes. I don't know that I have really much more to say at this point, but those are all things I have going on. You know what? I'm gonna drop this with one last little note that I'm not gonna dwell on. I may or may not be considering working on fun little random disclaimer included no conspiracy theory book things. I don't know. It's just a fun idea I have, but I'm kind of worried like that people will take them seriously and go too far. I don't know. May or may not go with that. I'm gonna call it here because this is definitely longer than I intended to be. So I will talk at y'all later. This has been Amie Crowsong, signing out for now. Love y'all. Bye.